Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is another video about Diablo 4, and this one is a little bit more unique. Now, the reason why I'm making this video, so there has been a lot of changes when it comes to the Diablo games, more notably uh, Diablo 2 Resurrected, where they've been telling us that it's going to be cross-platform, and I've made videos about that. I find it's a spectacular idea. So if you guys don't know what that means, is you can actually be playing Diablo 2 Resurrected on your PC, leveling your character, and at the same time, you decide, well, you know what? I need to go and do something else, so let me pick up my Nintendo Switch and continue playing my Diablo 2 game on the go. You can definitely do that. But here's the thing, the game isn't even in the alpha version at this moment. And the developers are essentially telling us that this ain't happening. But Blizzard has reassured us that this is going to be one of the features. It's even on their website right now. Look, I get it. It's a new thing. We'll see if it's something that they'll be able to do. I really hope so, but there are changes that will happen, and this is not the only one. There's going to be more coming up because it's not the finalized version. So it got me thinking, what are they going to do with Diablo 4? So there's things that they've been telling us that they're going to do, and this is essentially what I would like to see in the game and what I wouldn't want to see in the game. So the number one thing that for me really stands out that I want to see and I want them to pay attention to, we've been waiting for Diablo 4 for a long time. Let's be honest. We can wait a little bit more. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I want a finished product. I don't want something that has been rushed through. I want a good old fashioned Blizzard game. Yes, they take their time, but they put a lot of effort into it and they care about the players. This is what I want to see, and not a rushed Activision product. If you guys don't know what an Activision product is, go take a look at Warcraft 3 Reforged. I'm sorry. This is the difference between Activision product and World of Warcraft, which is a Blizzard game, right? I want a finished product. Blizzard, take your time, right? We can wait a little bit more. Make sure you have a decent game to show us, right? We don't want something just for having it. Another thing that I liked is looking back at Diablo 3, because let's be honest, they will take inspiration from them, from the previous games. I really like the fact that you're able to interact with your environment. I found that to be a very unique idea. And I'm not talking about breaking barrels. I'm talking about walking around, destroying walls, breaking breaking chains, having the chandeliers fall on mobs and just completely killing them, getting extra bonuses. That was very unique. Actually, looking back at the Diablo 3 trailers, that's one of their unique features that they showed us. And it really got me thinking that Diablo 3 might be a great game. Didn't work out as well as we wanted to, but I really like that feature. The only problem is that they kind of focus on that for Act 1, and it feels like they kind of forgot about it for the rest of the game, right? Or am I the only one looking at like actually the realize that? I really doubt it, right? I mean, okay, we put a lot of effort into Act 1, we got your attention, we got your money. Let's go back to more basic things now. Guys, if you're gonna make something, make sure you go all the way. I really like the idea uh, of interacting with my environment. I hope they continue it with Diablo 4, and I want to see it throughout the whole game, not the first couple of minutes and then it kind of disappears, right? Make me want to come back to the game, make me want to explore and want to buy your expansion. Not, hey, I've invested X amount of money in Diablo 3 and now I'm forced to pay a little bit more on the expansion just to fix up some of the things that doesn't make any sense for me, right? I want, and it comes back to what I was saying before, I want a finished product, right? Like I mentioned before, it's normal that they take some inspiration from Diablo 3, right? They're not necessarily going to go back to a Diablo 1 or a Diablo 2 game, right? It does progress, there are changes. I mean, technology is different, management's different, players are different. So it makes sense that they take some of the things from Diablo 3. I get that. I can live with that. But let's take the good things, right? One thing for me that I liked, but maybe necessarily not as the only end game content, would be the rifts. The rifts were nice. They were very interesting. There was something for me to do during end game. Very nice idea, but not for the only thing for me to do during end game. Right? They focus so much on rifts. It almost feels like they didn't really have anything else set up. They just threw a rift there, told us, here you go, we'll just slap some maps here and there together, give you something to do. That's great, but I want to go out and explore the world, right? I mean, I want to be able to do something else. And even looking at Diablo Immortals, this is exactly what they did. They just really concentrating on rifts again, which again, it's a nice idea, but for the only thing for us to do, not really sure about that. Like, it gets, at least for me, my personal opinion, it gets a little boring and repetitive. Find something more unique to get us entertained. Now, here's an interesting one. A lot of companies have taken inspiration from Diablo games. Let's be honest here. It it is a game that actually kind of set the standard. And there are games that have taken a lot from Blizzard. Not to say that they're bad games. If anything, one game that really stands out while I'm saying this is Path of Exiles. So, Path of Exile, if you guys have never played it, I really recommend it. It's a tremendous game. You guys will love it. But that being said, you're playing it and you can see what they're trying to accomplish here. They took a lot of inspiration from Diablo game, right? So the way I'm seeing this, it's time for Blizzard to take some inspiration from them. One reason is they've shown it to us that looking at their talent tree, they're not very original. They don't put as much effort in their talent tree. Not to say that it's bad, but you're comparing it to Path of Exiles, and my god, look at the options, customization, so many spells. Sorry, not spells necessarily. The spells in that game come from their gems, but so many extra things that will make such a difference in your character, right? This is something that you want to draw inspiration from while you're building your game. and not necessarily doing a copy paste from Diablo 3 into Diablo 4 and say, here you go, we made you a talent tree. That's insufficient. Be unique and create something great, and not just slap the same old spells and talent trees and call it Diablo 4. They did present something to us a while ago, but that was back in September, right? It's been a couple of months. We haven't really heard anything back ever since. For me, looking at a talent tree, it's not just here you go, let's add this rune, and you can kind of do a little bit more uh, shock in the spell, or maybe a potential stun with it. Hey, be like I said before, be unique. So you're looking at your path of exile, and not only do you increase your stats, you increase your strength, you increase your armor, you increase effects. You can add gems into that will give it additional um, give you additional attributes, and at the same time kind of expand on your existing spells up to a certain area. I mean, it is so unique the way they made it, right? You want to be able to go there and really change your character. Facing another, let's say I'm choosing a sorceress, facing another sorceress on a PvP match, I don't want this to be a mirror match. I want my sorceress to be unique, right? So let's say I want to go there and be more of a frost sorceress. Give me a way for me to be able to increase my frost spells. Maybe get extra frost nova upon hit. Something that will make me stand out from the rest of the sorceresses. I hope I'm saying that right. Now, talking about talent trees, I know I'm gonna have people not agreeing with me here, but I really enjoyed the Paragon system from Diablo 3. Now, it was not perfect in the sense that you can essentially put an infinite amount of points into that. Um, well, actually, not all of them, but um, certain areas you can kind of put an infinite amount of points, which essentially, if you would play this game a lot more than someone else, you would have an insanely unfair advantage. So, yes, a Paragon system I liked. It wasn't perfect, but it was a very interesting idea to give you something to basically be able to continue doing end game to still be able to level. I do find that Diablo Immortals kind of perfect that system. If you guys want to take a look at it, I suggest you take a look at my Diablo Immortals video. I did go into a little bit more detail there, which, you know, I hope they kind of bring it back, to tell you the truth. The Diablo Immortal version, not Diablo 3. But it is a very nice way to give you something to do and work at, or work for in this case, while you're focusing on end game. One thing that I know that people are going to kind of laugh at me here is I really hope they bring back the mercenaries from Diablo 2. Now, it's more nostalgia than anything else. Not that it will necessarily make a difference, but I did find it interesting to be able to go there and pay a mercenary and have somebody follow you around and helping you out. Obviously, the people that we have right now that are following us, they are a lot better. So obviously, I'm referring to the Diablo 3 game. They are a lot better. You can customize them, give them armor, they have spells, they level. I hope they keep it. But I still want to have those mercenaries just for nostalgia. You guys might be laughing, but hey, my video, my list, why not? This brings us to another point that Diablo 3 was, I find at least, a little bit too easy. And the reason for that is the legendaries. There was a lot of legendaries. Every time you would run a rift, you would easily get anywhere between 2 to 7 legendaries. So that was a lot of overpowered gear. Not only that, you can actually take their their unique abilities, extract them, and add them permanently as a passive spell in Diablo 3. Although it was an amazing thing to have, well, truth be told, it was extremely overpowered. You had your choices of legendaries, and you can pretty much have a lot of options of how overpowered you want to be. So, legendaries in Diablo 3 really didn't mean much. Looking at Diablo 2, finding a legendary or finding a set was a huge deal, right? It made you want to grind, explore, and potentially get that extra drop to complete your set or to complete, not even complete, just get a legendary. I still remember in Diablo 2, one of the things that I was always trying to get, which I was never able to do, and I was playing it for years. I believe it was called the Jordan Ring. Now, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was an insane ring. It was supposed to be the most overpowered ring in that game at that time when I was playing it. Was never able to get it just because it was so hard. And I put a lot of time into that game just for that. One thing I wouldn't want to see is an auction house. Enough said. This is in World of Warcraft. You tried it in Diablo 3, didn't work out. Let's move on. It does feel that in Diablo 2, they're trying to go more nostalgia. They're trying to go more back to their roots, right? And you can kind of see it with some of the things that they're doing, the environment, the pardon me, the sounds, the sound effects, bring back old characters like the rogue, the druid, and who knows who else. I'm actually going to make a video on who I think is going to be the next class coming up. But it does feel like they're trying to go back to their roots, considering how Diablo 3 turned out to be not having the best success right off the bat. So they are trying to do certain things to bring people back. Good for them. I love that. I think it's time that you kind of pushed it a little bit more, though, Blizzard. Let's be honest. Things that I would like to see is Diablo 2 used to have a little bit more secrets. The first thing that stands out is the Cal level. Now, I'm not necessarily suggesting you should bring a Cal level back, although I'm pretty sure I would have people saying that they would want to see it. But my point here is get some extra secrets in there, and having some random goblins in Diablo 3 running around with a chance of potentially dropping a portal. All right, it's cute. I hardly call that a secret, right? It's just a nice little extra. And going back to, what we're discussing, going back to the roots, I would love to be able to go back to Old Tristram just to see how it is right now. And why don't we bring back the Haraja Cube? I really love that thing. I mean, yes, it would take up a lot of room in my backpack at the time, but you can actually do so many things with that. and you always had it on you. So again, I mean, not everybody has to agree with me here. Some people may not have liked it, but if you're gonna go back to your roots, kind of go all the way, wouldn't you think? This at least my opinion, and you know, I would have liked to see it. Also, if you're thinking of things that they wanted to do with the previous Diablo games, now the former president or CEO of Blizzard North came on not too long ago telling us that Diablo 2 was supposed to have a second expansion, and it was supposed to be more of an MMORPG, and even they were even working on Diablo 3, which was supposed to be something similar. So this is something that I want them to make sure, something that they would include into this game, right? Um, yes, I like the fact that this game is more open concept. I mean, granted, it's still a linear game, right? You have a starting point, and we all know what we're trying to achieve. But it is, at least the world is more open concept. So I would like for them to make sure that they keep it a little bit more MMORPG. Yes, it's not the style of game, but just to kind of add a little bit more of a challenge to it, and at the same time, kind of differentiate itself a little bit more, right? Is it just me, or is it becoming a little bit too repetitive? Just tag, right? Just give us a new flavor to it. Now, I know that not everybody's going to agree with me here, but this is at least my opinion, and I think it would actually make a significant difference in the game. Now, I'm also thinking of professions. So, Diablo 3 actually brought some great new things to it, which you can actually level your profession. All they need to do, they just essentially sit in one spot, wait for you to bring them material. You can level them, and you get additional recipes and things that you can build. Great idea. It really was. But here's the only weird thing about it: it's way too easy. It's way too cheap to level. There's not much to level. It's just most of it is aesthetics, and they just slap some extra uh, gear onto your profession there, to your blacksmith. But where's the challenge in that? Why am I working and grinding for? By the time I hit level 10, I mean he's fully customized. He's fully leveled. There's nothing more for me to do the whole game. So there should be something extra there to make me work for it, and something to make me, or you know what, not even make me, just how about if he helps me level? Something for me to do, and not just throw some extra cash and give me some extra recipes. All right, I guess, but where's the challenge in that? Why would I go back to this blacksmith? I could just continue grinding and I'm gonna get decent gear. What is he doing to help me? And why would I go back? And at least looking at other games, even looking actually at other Blizzard games, you're looking at one of the biggest successes, which is World of Warcraft. Your professions do mean something. They do give you some extra advantages while playing. The last thing that I want to focus on, and I'm not going to go too much into detail because I will make another video for this, but the classes, right? I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it feels like it's becoming a little bit repetitive when it comes to classes. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is I get why you would bring the sorceress. I get why you would bring the barbarian. They've been there essentially since the beginning, right? Ever since Diablo 1. But it almost feels like it's a lot of the same classes. It's always a barbarian slash warrior type of class. It's always a sorceress slash wizard, pardon me, slash mage type class. Looking at the Templars or Paladins, they're very similar classes. There's nothing extra that they brought in for a while now. So I would have liked to see some additional classes, at least one, just to kind of change it up a bit and saying, hey, look, we did make an effort in this game, right? Not just take from the old games and say, here you go, we're just doing like a little copy paste. Now, that being said, I really hope they bring some old classes back, right? Just because I find that maybe this should introduce one additional class just to kind of give us something new. I'm not saying they should change the whole gameplay and everything else, right? So let's kind of make sure we understand each other here. The only thing here that I really enjoyed, that I found very unique when they presented it, is the camps. So, in case you guys didn't hear about, is these camps that used to be cities or villages or whatever that used to hold quests with vendors, waypoints, and they kind of got invaded by monsters and demons, right? So you can actually go in, free them, kill all the monsters off, and you can rebuild the town. Such a nice and unique idea. I love that. I hope they keep it. But that being said, the way they position it is in a way that it'll give us additional freedom, additional options to kind of go in with that whole open world concept. And I really enjoyed it. But the only thing that I'm afraid of here is, are we forced to go and liberate this town? If if not, we don't get additional quests. Well, I can't speak. Additional quests, and therefore we can't level or we can't reach the next act? Or is this an optional thing that you want to go and do, but you don't have to? Or you may think it's a good idea to rescue this town because it may bring you closer to maybe a PvP area or whatever. So, how are they going to play this off? If they kind of introduce it as an optional thing and hey, look, there used to be a town here, or you're kind of exploring the land and realize, hey, there's a waypoint here. There used to be a town. Let's kill off all the demons and rebuild it. That would be epic. If you're just kind of forced to go there and liberate the town just so you can get extra quests, I mean, yes, you can still call it open concept, open world, but I mean, it's still falling into that whole linear aspect. You're not even giving us a choice. I have to do it. There's nothing open about it, right? So I'm a little bit worried at how they're gonna do it, but I love the idea of it. If they create it in the sense that it's gonna give you options, then by all means, this is gonna be a very, very awesome idea. So these are some of the things that I thought about. Some of the things that I want to see, things that may not want to see, and some things that I really hope they do, right? I'm curious to know if you guys have anything else. Uh, Anything when it comes to classes, or quite frankly, anything that you don't agree with me, I'll be interested to know. This is essentially based on what I would want to see and what I wouldn't. But I'm sure you guys have great ideas. Let me know as well. And thank you for watching. Peace.